That's a good looking day out there. I'm not going to go out and attempt to deal with the temperature, however. But summer's still hanging in here, and we're on the last month of it, I'm told. The Jews, Israel, Netanyahu, what are you doing, Benny? You've been bad. The amazing thing about the spat that's occurred with the Palestinians and the Jews, as you know, or if you're my age, you know, it's not at all unusual. In fact, it's really quite common. It's not a matter of if, it's actually a matter of when. You got to know your history. Well, you don't need to know you. In the 70s, 75 roundabout, I was a young man able to get around the place with considerable efficiency. I was young. I could run. I could dodge things. Beirut in those days was the Riviera of the Middle East. Time that 1975 came along and my freedom to travel the world, an incident occurred in Beirut and it set off a chain of events that went on for years, and it was, believe it or not, the same people blowing as they are now. And a lot died. And it got so bad that you couldn't go into the centre of Beirut at all. It didn't happen. If you did, you had to be ready to run from building to building because the snipers, who really were particularly good, the snipers would keep an eye on you for far longer than you would have thought possible. But when you think about it, they've got bugger all else to do. They're sitting up in a high rise, firing down on you. Anyway, none of that's got anything to do with what I started with because I just sort of veered off. But I cannot help but think quite regularly, Beirut, the Riviera of the Middle East, was full of beautiful women, beautiful people. Persian woman, as anyone will tell you, are relatively good look. But the only thing that went on, other than it being the intellectual capital of the area as well, but after that, or during the business that everybody needed to get killed, and a lot did, you could see the history. They'd been in blues before, and now they're in one again. You can see it. It comes, and it doesn't go away. I find it really quite odd that people just have to kill each other for no particular reason other than a bit of a bullshit about religion. Whether you need to wear the dreaded black bag or whether you don't. Whether you believe that you've got to kneel down with your arse pointing out the door facing east with the other end of it, or you don't. I mean, it's not any sillier doing that than going to a Catholic deal where they go and hide in a little sentry box and whisper. Not a lot of difference, is it? But the only thing that makes it a pain in the arse is that people must consistently die to further the cause. And I think that's just bloody ridiculous. I actually had in mind a totally different thing, but I veered off. Never mind, you'll get used to it. Read your history. As I've told you before, there'll be questions. Right, that sorted out the Middle East. The Beirut thing I was going to tell you about. Turned out I didn't get there at all, but my friend, who obviously had more energy than me, did. And he spent the best part of a year running up and down what was called, I think, the Green Line in Beirut, which was the line between them that'd shoot you and them that'd shoot you. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter what your religion was. You put a fucking neon sign on your head, it wouldn't have made any difference. They just had to shoot you. Anyway, the sense of adventure that my friend had made me wonder. I probably should have done it myself at such a young age. But no, I thought I might wait, hang about until I got good and old, and until young teenagers, barely teenagers, would be taking over people's lives to the point of killing them. We have that problem in Queensland. We have that problem in Australia. We have that problem just about everywhere. The problem is uncontrolled migration around the planet. The problem is in thinking that these people have a case. They don't. They want to damage you. They want to rob you. They want to kill you. That's what they do. That's how it works. Everyone knows that. We've got them coming out of our arse here in Brisbane. Right? It's huge. Immigrant, refugee, I think. Refugees from their own imagination more than anything. These people really cannot continue to act this way in a normal society. The breakdown of society is quite evident, as I've raved on about Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, Benny the Jet, is a grown man, and he unfortunately has the killing instinct. He can't help himself. He's an old warlord from way back. He's been touched by the smell of cordon, touched by the smell of death, and he loves it. And he's out there now settling a few scores. Meantime, no one realised that the entire world will get its panties in it, and we'd all have to, probably not we, they'd all have to line up dutifully with a Palestinian flag, or Israel if you want to go that way. I mean, it's only up to the size of your nose, isn't it, really? Stand side on. I damn near make it myself. Benny the Jet saw me, he'd think I was his brother. It can't happen continually anymore. It's getting to the point in Britain, in France, everywhere in Europe, and I don't make make it up. I've been there regularly and I've seen it. And what I've seen is hateful. What I've seen is people that have no intention of becoming citizens of anything. What I've seen is people that want to burn and rob and rape. And I've seen them Europe-wide. And I'm beginning to see them in Australia. But while we're waiting for the real hardcore to get here, we've got enough fuckwits running around now waving flags. Who would have thought? Right? Who would have thought? 1,000 people run around. These are school kids. They don't know their history because they don't learn, because they don't have to. But they've got a core. How fucking sad is that? The core is to give these people more lever to do more damage to you, your family, to your chattels, to your good. Christ, they'll take your car. I mean, if you're faced with a deep brown person with a machete wanting your car, you're probably going to have a really good think about whether you need that car. They know that. They also know you're not going to fight back. They'd probably be wrong here, because I'd be pretty keen to engage. And that's the way people are going to be. You cannot let these people take over the world. You really can't. Our choices are really quite thin, actually. So what I think I'll do is go and have a stiff belt of some sort of alcohol so that I get talkative more so, and I'll be back.